Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Serpent. And if you do enjoy the content, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Serpents, we are back for another episode. We do have a couple of things to talk about today, which are really important, especially as we look towards the longevity of this run that currently Ripple is on. Will it continue? Will it slow down? We're going to cover all that today and a whole lot more. Now, XRP jumps 44% in a week after Ripple moves to dismiss the SEC lawsuit. We've spoken about this, and we've spoken about the fact that this is one of the major reasons why the recent run occurred. And you can tell where in 2022, how much news impacts price. I mean, it moved so much just based on the potential of a dismiss. The day that it actually gets finalized and finished, it's going to be spectacular. It is going to be a spectacular day, and I honestly cannot wait for that day. Now, while we wait for this day to arrive, and again, it's not a financial advisor, I'm not a financial advisor. As I've always stated, my belief from December 23rd, 2020, 2020 has been that this case it was never meant to even be around. I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyways, we're here. But my belief has always been, and will never change, that it's going to be a settlement or a win for Ripple, based on the fact that XRP is a currency. Again, personal opinion. Now, both the SEC and Ripple have filed motions for summary judgment, each asking the judge to rule in their favor without a trial. Surprise, surprise. I mean, I don't understand how the SEC has even the wild imagination to do that. But anyways. Now, that, as soon as that came out, straight away the price started to move. And it started to move really big. Now, I shared in the last video, if you haven't seen it, go check it out, about South Korea and the movement that those banks inside South Korea are making and how that has impacted the volume that is currently traded. That has to do a lot with what is going on. Now, filings show that the SEC is acting outside their legal limits, Ripple General Counsel stated. The SEC is not looking to apply the law, they are looking to remake the law in the hopes that it can impermissibly expand their jurisdiction, which is true. I mean, I don't like to get too much into the legal technical jargon. I believe most of us, just like to, talk about this in a more simplistic way. But the SEC are so out of line with this that it's not even funny. It's not even funny. Now, by contrast, the SEC alleges the XRP meets the criteria of a security under the Howey test, a benchmark used since the 1930s. Can we please take a moment just to laugh? I have to laugh, because if I don't, I have to cry. They're using something from the 1930s? Come on. We're in 2022. Nothing from the 1930s is going to apply in today's age, in the blockchain era. Come on. I mean, is this like some kind of comedy show? And if it is, it's a pretty bad one. Now, the SEC battle with Ripple Labs nears its end following parties' application for summary judgment. There really is a strong feel out there in the market that this is about to wrap up. That's the general, the general view from the public, from private investors. Everyone reckons that this thing will not go to trial. Now, in the spirit of mentioning worst case scenarios, if the judge says, nah, we're going to court, we're in 2023, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be, we're going to be talking about this thing settling or Ripple winning in 2023. That's just the nature of it. And, it's not something that we want to hear. It's not something that I personally believe will happen. I think we are going to wrap things up in 2022. It makes sense for things to wrap up in 2022. But if it goes to trial, then we are looking into 2023. And that is important. That is an important aspect of whether you hold this coin or not. It is. It simply is. I mean, like I said, I've stated that I will be holding this for a long term. But I got to tell you that if we are going to court, if we're going to trial, then it will be 2023. That is something that you need to think about. I've thought about it. To me, I'm okay. But I have to also mention this scenario because a lot of people don't talk about this stuff. And I want, and it's important. It's important to mention it so that you can make the right decision for you. Now, Coinbase CEO vows to fight for crypto success, cites dangers of US crypto regulations. I mean, he's jumped on the bandwagon of the SEC not being right in how they're approaching cryptocurrency. I agree with him. Ripple agrees with him, although he was very quick to take Ripple and XRP off his exchange. And I think if that happened now, I think he would, perhaps think twice before doing it, right? Because, I mean, many other exchanges have remained on board. But I think today, if it happened today, if Ripple was sued today, I don't think he would take it off. But let me know in the comments what you think about that statement. Now, XRP did break fundamental resistance level. And so we will talk about that. And what does that mean? Now, did it break fundamental resistance levels just based on hype, which means that it will come back down? Or are we here to stay and this is the new benchmark? I'll definitely talk about that as well. Now, something to consider as well is that in this week, everyone has taken a loss. It's only been like a few coins that have actually performed really, really well. I mean, XRP leading the way with 44% in a week. It's huge. Absolutely huge. Now, a lot of people, and FX Street included, are saying it's time to lock in the gains because we, could be going down. And of course, I'll mention to you guys about that as well. Now, the white paper for the Australian CBDC project has come out, which is sponsored by the RBA, the Australian Central Bank, and has been released today. The project will be led by Dilip Rao, former Ripple executive. Now, please, XRP community, before we start to jump up and down and make assumptions, I mean, he is the program director. And yes, he used to work at Ripple. But let's not, do what a lot of XRP community people do, right? Jump to conclusions. Of course, because he's involved and means that Ripple's going to be involved with Australia's CBDC project. That project, very, very interesting document. If you do want to take the time to research and find it and read it, very, very, very cool. The way that it's, they're positioning it. But of course, it is crypto. And so the big news, comes out. It says, breaking central bank CBDC project announcement being led by Ripple executives. So it is something that, I guess being an XRP holder, you do have to realize that there are some XRP extremists, I guess, so some people that will just try and make something that's like 2% into like 100%. It is, I mean, look, you can sometimes, put two and two together. And is it a cool thing that he used to work at Ripple? Yeah, sure, it is. But that's not enough, guys. I feel that sometimes this community is not liked by the rest of the industry because it takes something very, very small like this and makes it into, headline, Australia CBDC will be led by Ripple. That's not what we're saying here. And, please, I feel that sometimes the community does more harm than good because you are so passionate about this project that sometimes that passion comes across as a bit too much. So it's cool. We're keeping a close eye on the CBDCs in Australia and which blockchain technology will be used. Now we know, you and I know that Ripple and the XRP ledger will be used by all the CBDCs. I was having a very interesting conversation actually on LinkedIn with a gentleman that not only made 3 false statements, but he was trying to tell me that there is no bank in the world that is using Ripple, and I just I can't help it. I have to laugh. I have to laugh because if I don't laugh, I cry because this conversation was just so ignorant and so one-sided. Trying to make his point. It was just embarrassing. He was embarrassing himself. In the comment section of another person's post. I mean, come on. If you're going to make an argument, come prepared. Because if you're going to go head to head with a serpent, you're going to get knocked out. Because I come to you with facts. And people come to me with their opinions. Opinions don't matter. It's facts that matter. And the fact is that this guy had no idea. And I did enjoy it. Now, FTX chief says that Bitcoin has no future as payments network. We know which one does. So what's going on with the price? Have we broken out? are we about to retrace? Look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It was amazing to see that price rise, but I'm not yet convinced that it's here to stay. Sorry for those of you that think so, that think otherwise. I don't believe that it's here to stay. I do believe that we probably will touch into the 30s again before we start to rise. Now, when we do begin to rise, it will be amazing. It's going to be fantastic. But just be mindful that the recent news, we could be visiting low 30s again before we start to go up. Or we could be visiting 70 cents before we start to come back down. Those are the two scenarios that I'm looking at this week. Which one do I think is going to happen first? It's hard to say at the moment, but I'm looking at both scenarios as a 50-50 at the moment. So my move at the moment is no move. But I do believe that we will see 30s, low 30s before we start to go up. Now, in terms of where do we go from here, I'm looking at 60 cents, I'm looking at 70 cents, I'm looking for a support and to the top, to the rise, or come back down into the 30s before we start to go up again. That there is very, very important to me. So right now, eyes wide open on all possible scenarios. If you did enjoy today's video, then don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thank you. Look forward to see you on the next one.